Southeast Asia has arrived at a pivotal moment in global history. As we stand in mid-2025, it is impossible to ignore the immense strategic and economic weight of this dynamic region. Home to over 680 million people, a population larger than the European Union or North America, this collection of 11 nations represents a vibrant tapestry of cultures, economies, and political systems. For centuries, these lands were crossroads for maritime trade, connecting the great civilizations of China, India, and the West. Today, that historical role has taken on a modern urgency. The region is no longer just a passage, it has become a destination, a major global hub for manufacturing, technology, and demographic vitality that the world simply cannot afford to overlook. The importance of Southeast Asia is not merely a matter of population size or geography. It is fundamentally about its position as a central arena in the great power competition shaping the 21st century. The world's most critical sea lanes, including the Malacca Strait through which a third of global shipping passes, are located here. This makes regional stability a matter of global concern. Furthermore, the collective economy of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN, has grown to become the fifth largest in the world. This economic heft provides the region with a powerful voice and a degree of agency it has never before possessed. Its youthful population provides a demographic dividend at a time when many Western nations and even China are facing aging workforces. This newfound centrality brings both unprecedented opportunities and significant challenges. The world is turning its attention to Southeast Asia, with global powers courting its nations for partnership and influence. This attention translates into investment, trade, and diplomatic engagement, which can accelerate development and improve livelihoods for millions. However, this focus also places the region under immense pressure. The interests of external powers do not always align with the interests of ASEAN members, creating a complex diplomatic landscape. The region must therefore navigate these dynamics with wisdom and foresight, ensuring that it remains the master of its own destiny, rather than a pawn in a larger geopolitical game. The story of Southeast Asia in 2025 is one of resilience and ambition. The region has successfully navigated the turbulent waters of the post-COVID-19 recovery, emerging with a renewed sense of purpose. It is a story of economic transformation, where nations are leapfrogging traditional development stages through digital innovation and green technology. It is also a story of a delicate balancing act, as ASEAN strives to maintain its unity and neutrality in an increasingly polarized world. Understanding Southeast Asia is no longer optional for global leaders and citizens. It is essential for comprehending the primary forces that will shape our collective future for decades to come. The defining geopolitical feature of Southeast Asia today is the intensifying rivalry between the United States and China. This is not a distant contest. It is a daily reality felt in every capital from Hanoi to Jakarta. Both superpowers see the region as critical to their strategic interests. The United States seeks to uphold a rules-based international order and maintain its long-standing security alliances with countries like the Philippines and Thailand. Meanwhile, China, as the region's largest trading partner and a geographical neighbor, exerts enormous economic and political influence. This competition forces Southeast Asian nations into a difficult position, as they are economically intertwined with China but often share security concerns with the United States. In response to this immense pressure, ASEAN has consistently championed its own unique approach to diplomacy, often referred to as the ASEAN Way. This philosophy emphasizes consensus building, non-interference in the internal affairs of member states, and the pursuit of dialogue over confrontation. ASEAN provides a neutral platform where all major powers, including the United States, China, Russia, Japan, and India, can engage with one another through mechanisms like the East Asia Summit and the ASEAN Regional Forum. This convener role is ASEAN's greatest strength. It allows the region to avoid taking sides, instead positioning itself as an indispensable manager of regional peace and a proponent of an open and inclusive architecture. This balancing act, however, is becoming increasingly difficult to maintain. The South China Sea remains a significant flashpoint, with overlapping territorial claims between China and several ASEAN members, including Vietnam and the Philippines. The United States' commitment to freedom of navigation challenges China's expansive claims, leading to a militarization of these vital waters. ASEAN has been working for years to finalize a code of conduct with China to manage these disputes, but progress has been slow. The challenge for ASEAN is to maintain its unity when the interests of its member states diverge, especially when some have closer ties to Beijing and others lean more towards Washington. A clear example of this diplomatic tightrope is the ongoing crisis in Myanmar. Since the military coup in 2021, ASEAN has been at the forefront of efforts to find a peaceful resolution. Under Malaysia's chairmanship in 2025, the bloc has intensified its engagement, pushing for the implementation of the 5-point consensus agreed upon by ASEAN leaders. This involves calling for an immediate cessation of violence, dialogue among all parties, and the appointment of a special envoy. While progress has been frustratingly slow, ASEAN's continued commitment demonstrates its refusal to let the region's problems be dictated by outside powers. It is a testament to the belief that regional challenges are best solved through regional mechanisms, however imperfect they may be. The economic story of Southeast Asia in 2025 is one of remarkable dynamism and recovery. Having weathered the storm of the COVID-19 pandemic, the region has re-emerged as a powerful engine of global growth. As a bloc, ASEAN stands as the world's 5th largest economy, and its trajectory points upward. This revival is not accidental. It is built on strong fundamentals, including favorable demographics, increasing urbanization, and a rapidly expanding middle class with growing purchasing power. Companies from around the world are diversifying their supply chains, and Southeast Asia has become a primary beneficiary of this China Plus One strategy, attracting significant foreign direct investment into manufacturing and logistics. Within this vibrant economic landscape, several countries stand out as key drivers of growth. Indonesia, the world's 4th most populous country, is a behemoth with a massive domestic market and ambitious plans for infrastructure development, including the construction of its new capital, Nusantara. Vietnam continues its stunning economic ascent, powered by its export-oriented manufacturing sector, attracting major tech companies like Samsung and Apple to set up production facilities. The Philippines, with its young, English-speaking workforce, is a global leader in the business process outsourcing industry and is seeing rapid growth in its digital economy. These nations are not just growing, they are transforming. The recovery from the pandemic has also catalyzed a profound digital transformation across the region. E-commerce, digital payments, and online services have become deeply embedded in the daily lives of millions. This digital leap has unlocked new opportunities for small and medium-sized enterprises, allowing them to access wider markets and participate more fully in the economy. Governments are actively supporting this shift with policies aimed at improving digital literacy and expanding internet connectivity, recognizing that the digital economy is a key pillar of future prosperity. The region's tech startup scene is booming, with unicorns emerging in fields from fintech to logistics. This economic progress, however, is not without its challenges. One of the most significant is the need for massive investment in infrastructure. To sustain its growth, the region must upgrade its ports, roads, railways, and energy grids. While initiatives like China's Belt and Road Initiative offer capital, they also bring concerns about debt and sovereignty. Therefore, countries are increasingly looking to a mix of public, private, and multilateral financing to fund these critical projects. The goal is to build infrastructure that is not only efficient but also sustainable and resilient, capable of supporting the region's economic ambitions for generations to come. As Southeast Asia pursues economic growth, it is also confronting the urgent reality of climate change. The region is one of the most vulnerable in the world to rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and other climate impacts. This has created a powerful impetus to transition towards a green economy. Governments and businesses are increasingly recognizing that sustainability is not a barrier to growth, but a necessary condition for it. This shift is most visible in the energy sector, where there is a significant push towards renewable sources like solar, wind, and geothermal power. Indonesia and the Philippines, for example, are leveraging their volcanic geography to become leaders in geothermal energy production. The green transition is creating new industries and economic opportunities. The demand for electric vehicles is surging, and countries like Indonesia and Thailand are positioning themselves as regional hubs for electric vehicle manufacturing, leveraging Indonesia's vast nickel reserves, a key component in batteries. Beyond electric vehicles, the bioeconomy presents another promising frontier. Malaysia, for instance, is using its vast palm oil industry to produce biofuels and other high-value bioproducts. These initiatives not only help reduce carbon emissions, but also create skilled jobs and move economies up the value chain. demonstrating a practical path toward balancing economic development with environmental protection. Despite this progress, significant hurdles remain. Trade tensions between major global powers can disrupt supply chains and create economic uncertainty for the region's export-dependent economies. The infrastructure deficit, particularly in digital and transport connectivity, continues to be a bottleneck that can limit growth potential if not addressed systematically. Moreover, ensuring that the benefits of growth are shared equitably across society is a persistent challenge. The gap between urban and rural areas and between the rich and poor must be narrowed to ensure long-term social and political stability. Looking ahead, the opportunities are immense. The global race for technological supremacy, particularly in semiconductors and artificial intelligence, presents a chance for the region to carve out a niche. Countries like Malaysia and Singapore are already key players in the global chip supply chain, focusing on assembly, testing, and packaging. By fostering greater regional cooperation, investing in education and skills training, and creating a business-friendly regulatory environment, ASEAN can attract further investment in these high-tech sectors. Ultimately, Southeast Asia's future will be defined by its ability to manage these complex trade-offs, to harness growth while protecting the environment, to navigate geopolitics while maintaining unity, and to build an inclusive society where everyone can prosper.